Welcome back, it's MeiaSoQuick, and as you can see, I'm back in the kitchen. Today, I'm going to be attempting to make a leopard print cake. Yes, a cake that will have leopard print baked into the cake. Like, not just into the cake, but also decorated on the outside. So, let's just jump into everything that you're gonna need for this, okay? So, I'm going to be making two different flavors. I'm gonna make chocolate and I'm gonna make vanilla. That way it'll kind of like make the little spots or whatever. So here's what I'm gonna need. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of butter, 1 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs. So those are gonna be all the ingredients that I'm gonna use for this vanilla cake. So let me go ahead and jump right into making that. So you wanna start off with pouring all of your flour into a mixer. And then I'm gonna add in all of my dry ingredients at this time. So that's my flour, my baking powder, my sugar, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and combine all of that. I'm using my paddle attachment at this point. So once all of those are combined, then I'm going to start adding in my butter gradually. So you can see I'm just doing like a tablespoon at a time. Once that's all fully combined, I'm going to start mixing in all of my wet ingredients. So I'll add in my eggs and mix those in, as well as the milk. And then finally, I'll add in the vanilla extract. So that's all mixed well. All right, and so that right now is my vanilla cake batter. So before I start baking or putting things together, I wanna go ahead and start making the batter for my chocolate cake. So similar to my vanilla cake, I'm going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/2 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 ounces of baking chocolate. All right, so now that you have all the ingredients for your chocolate cake, here's what you're gonna do. You are gonna pour all of your dry ingredients into the mixer. So that, once again, will be your flour, it's gonna be your sugar, it's gonna be your baking powder, as well as your baking soda and salt. So you wanna mix all of that in the mixer till it's all combined. And then once you've done that, I'm going to add in my butter gradually, just as I did before. So I'm just doing pretty much a tablespoon at a time. Once that's fully combined, I'm going to add in my milk and my eggs and my vanilla extract. So my wet ingredients again, right? Now that that's all combined, I am gonna take my baker's chocolate, as you can see here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and melt that. All right, and I've melted that. I just did it by a couple seconds in the microwave, mix it up, and then put it back in the microwave again for a couple seconds and mix it up so that that heat is spreading around to all of the chocolate. Now that that's melted, I'm going to go ahead and pour that into this cake batter that we've made so far. Once that's poured in, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this mix well. And now that I have this batter, okay, I have my vanilla cake batter, my chocolate cake batter, I am now going to divide my chocolate cake batter, just the chocolate cake batter, because I want to dye some of this batter black. And I'm just gonna take some of that, about 1/3 of the batter, and I'm gonna dye it black, okay? All right, so now that I have my chocolate batter that is 1/3 of it dyed and the other 2/3 is just Leopard chocolate, and then I have my whole vanilla cake batter, let's start putting this together, okay? So to make the cake, first I'm gonna go ahead and spray my baking pan. So here you can just see that I'm using an 8-inch round, and I'm gonna line it with baking paper. I find that it makes it a lot easier when I'm trying to release the cake from the pan. So once I've done that, I'm going to add in my vanilla batter to the bottom. I am not adding all of my batter, I'm just doing enough to cover the bottom, okay? So I'm adding that as a thin layer, and I'm just gonna go ahead and smooth that over the bottom of the surface like so. Next, I've actually transferred my chocolate batter and my black batter to a squeezy bottle. However, I can tell you from experience at this point, you could probably just do this with a piping bag and it would work a lot better, all right? But I don't know why I didn't think of this. I don't know, but I'm using a squeezy bottle, but please make sure if you do this, you use a piping bag because it's gonna be much easier for you. So now that I've got that, I'm going to make rings around this vanilla batter. So just starting on the outside, I'm gonna make a big circle, and as you can see, I'm gonna get some air bubbles because for some reason I used a squeezy bottle. So remember, use a piping bag. But I'm just gonna make a circle going around, and once I've got that outside circle, I'm then gonna do another circle on the inside, and then another circle, and then another one till I get to like a small one right in the center. And you can see me doing that here, right? So my lines were really thin once again because I used the squeezy bottle, but if you use a piping bag, your lines will be thicker, and that will honestly be better for when you actually see the pattern at the end. Now that I have went around this vanilla batter with my black rings around, next I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same thing with the chocolate, and I'm going to do this right directly on top of those black rings, or at least as close as I can. If it goes a little bit off, it's okay, but you want to go ahead and make those same rings right on top of the black rings that we made before. Okay, now that I've covered all those black rings with the chocolate brown, now I'm going to go back into my black batter, and I'm going to top those same rings one more time for the last time. All right, and now that that's done, I am now going to cover all of this with the vanilla batter, okay? Making sure that you're not trying to like spread it too far so your lines don't get spread out. So once again, I'm just gonna pour in all this vanilla batter over the top, and that's ready to go into the oven. Okay, so now I also want to do a layer where I kind of do this in reverse. So this one will be kind of like a vanilla batter with the brown and the black spots, and then I want to also try this on a like brown cake that will have like the white with black spots, because I don't know what's going to show up better. So I'm going to do the same exact steps, except for this time I'm going to place chocolate on the bottom, and then I'm gonna make some rings around with some of the vanilla batter, and then I'll go on top of it with the black and then vanilla again, and then I'll end it all off with a chocolate on the top. I think I did that. Okay, and when they come out, this is what you have. So you can see this vanilla cake, and you can already kind of see some of it peeking through because like I did say, our layers are really thin at the bottom. All right, now for here, I'm going to go ahead and frost this cake. I just made some buttercream. If you want to see how I make my own homemade buttercream, by all means, click up at the eye right up at the top, and you can see my recipe for that. It's super easy and super quick. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and cover this whole cake in buttercream, and then I'll go ahead and let that chill for just a little bit so that it sets. Now, once I've got that, I have some extra icing that I wanted to dye. I didn't really make it all the way brown. I was kind of going for a light brown, but it kind of really came out pink, but it's okay. So with that, I am going to go ahead and just start making some random spots around this cake with just this pinkish brown icing that I have. All right, and as you can see, I went all the way around. Next, for the final thing to decorate this cake, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this icing out of a squeezy tube. This is where you can use a squeezy bottle if you have one, and if not, you can just get one of these icings that come out of a tube. And I'm just gonna draw on some little half C's, if you will, just some little C's around each of these little brown blobs that I made around the cake to go ahead and decorate this. And next, what I wanna do is, you can actually go ahead and take a paper towel. or like even a napkin, and if you press it against the icing for a little bit, it'll kind of lay it flatter, because if it's too textured and you want it to be flat, you can just go ahead and put a napkin against it and just tap it into it, and that way it'll lay flatter, and then you can go ahead and chill it from there as well. And there is what my leopard print cake looks like. All right, but let's go ahead and cut into it and let's see what that shot looks like. So as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it that well, but if you look on the inside, you can see where I have the little spots, and this is where I said if you use the piping bag and if you made thicker lines, the print would show up thicker. So just know that in the future if you decide to do this recipe. All right, but while doing this, I also was like, okay, I got some leftover batter and I'm having fun and I'm doing leopard print. I wonder if there's another way I could bake this into the cake. So here's what I did. I took just a small little 4-inch round, and what I did is that I took some of this black batter, and you can see that I just squeezed in the little outline. I used my little squeezy bottle, and I squeezed in the little outline of what those little C shapes would be, and then I placed that in the oven for just like 2 minutes, not even a whole minute, 2 minutes, and then I pop that out, and you can see that it gets a little bit hard but not fully cooked. And then I went ahead and filled in those circles with the brown batter, and then once again I put it in the oven for about a good minute or 2 minutes. And then once that came out, I then filled it with the vanilla batter, and then I completely baked it for the complete time. So around, you'll have to just, let's see, for 8-inch rounds, it's probably gonna be somewhere around like 25 minutes. For this 4-inch round, it'll be a lot less, but if you're not sure and your oven temperatures change, I do mine at 350 degrees, but just go ahead and stick a fork straight in and pull it out, and if it comes out clean, it's good. If it comes out and it still has, you know, some batter on it, you gotta continue to cook it longer. All right, but when these little small cakes came out, oh my God, look at these, okay? These look perfect. So with these, I would say that you could use these as a decorative, because if you put icing on it, it's gonna cover that entire pattern, because this pattern isn't baked in, it's just on the outside. But to me, it looks so pretty. Like, you tell me in the comments, which one would you prefer? Do you prefer the decorated outside with the print on the inside, or do you like how it looks on these small cakes, right? I can't choose. But thank you guys so much for watching. By all means, if you like this video, by all means, please like the video. And if you're interested in any of my other cooking videos, I have this strawberry shortcake video right here where I made an ice cream cake from scratch. Yes, I made the ice cream and everything that went into this cake from scratch, and it was so delicious. By all means, go ahead and check that video out next. All right, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.